What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Romans Creative Academy. I am one of your hosts, Jay,
And I'm Mike.
and today we have a little bit of a different setup here. Hope you guys enjoy it. I love this painting in the back of us. But today we're going to talk to you guys about 3 struggles we're seeing in the market, not only today, but also when we started.
Yep. Nothing really has changed in terms of the struggles. It's just for me and Jay, we learned how to get through them. But now that we've surpassed them, people stepping into those positions and into the shoes where we were when we started, we're like, wow, okay, it's still all the same struggles. It's still all the same issues to be able to get started in this industry.
Yeah. So when we first started, one of our main issues was, where do we start when it comes to finding sellers that we need to talk to, specifically those who would be willing and open to doing creative, right?
Yep. And there is no like golden pot where it's like, I can go to this website or I go to this spot and all the creative financing sellers are going to want to sell on terms in this spot. No, it's how you go about having the sellers come to you, and 2, it's all about the questions that you asked. So when we started, leads were our biggest problem in order to get going. At that point we knew what to say to sellers, but we had no sellers to say it to. So if you have no leads, you have no business. And a lot of times we see people struggle to get their first deal, and to do consistent deals is because they can't get the leads. So the one big thing I would say that truly helped us is focusing on lead generation. We tell all of our students all the time, your job is to be a lead machine. And if you can be a lead machine, I promise you will get a deal, because everything will fall into place.
And I think what Mike was trying to say earlier was from all different lead sources, right? Not just one specific place or one specific list that you pull. There's many ways you can generate leads, and then it just comes down to the questions that you ask.
Yep. I'll be honest. This house that we're sitting in right now, I literally made a post and it went just like this. And I put it on my Facebook personal page. And it literally said, hey, me and Jay need to buy another house ASAP. We've done over X amount of transactions, and we would love to buy something before the end of the year. And lo and behold, boom, somebody inboxed us, got to talking. This house was in pre-foreclosure. We saved it from getting foreclosed, and we took over the seller's payments on their behalf. I can swear to you it's as easy as that sometimes.
So that's one of the nuggets that he just gave you, or a lead source that you can use to get leads to come to you. And we've previously done a video on this, so I encourage you guys to go check it out. We drop a lot of nuggets on how to find leads, so go check it out. And so I just want to get into the second one, where what if you get, to talking with a seller and you come to an agreement where creative financing is going to work for them, right? How do you find the way to negotiate it or put together the terms that's favorable, not just for them, but for yourself, right? Because it's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street. We're in this business also, yes, correct, to make money. So this is the second struggle that we see a lot of investors who are starting off or have experience go through.
Absolutely. So everybody can learn how to get leads. Everybody can learn how to ask the question to the seller, and that's what we call like our discovery, right? So you're discovering questions about the seller and their situation. But once you discover all that, what's next? You need to then turn into a discovery person, and then you need to turn on your negotiating brains, right? And you need to turn that switch on. Well, negotiating is not something that is taught by reading a piece of paper and hoping that it sticks and it lands. Negotiating comes down to, just like Jay said, listening to what the seller needs and coming up with a proper solution. And the only way that you can do that is by doing it yourself. We've worked with people in the past who have done tons of deals over their lifetime, but have never structured a seller financing deal and had no idea how to do it. And the reason was they didn't have the knowledge to do it. That's typically what comes down to negotiating, is you don't have the knowledge on how to do it and what tools, right, you should use out of your toolbox. The second one is you're not listening to the needs of the seller, and you're not structuring everything to go the way that it would work out best for the seller and for you. So if a seller says, Mike, I could do this seller financing, I'm planning to retire in 10 years, I can, if you can give me a little bit of money to move, we'll be good. And then if I come back to the seller and I say, yeah, well, typically I only do 20 years and typically I do no money down. Well, yeah, of course, that's the perfect scenario. But you're not listening to the seller. They said, yeah, I will do it with this and with this. And the terms, they work, they make sense, they're not perfect. But you probably just blew the deal now because of doing that. You didn't listen to the seller.
So all in all, those discovery questions are extremely important because they're getting you ready so that you know what tool to pull out of your toolbox and use. So it's almost like a layup, right? When I'm asking the questions, I already know in my head, those discovery questions, I know in my head like, oh wow, this may work as a straight sub 2, or this might work as a hybrid deal. You never know until you ask these discovery questions. So if you guys are interested in these questions and some training on how to ask these questions, because like we always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, make sure to check out our links below for our resources. And I think you'll get a lot out of them. And then, so lastly is really, after you ask those questions, after you pulled that toolbox out, then what's the last thing that people really struggle with?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is people say, hey, Mike, hey, Jay, I think I got a great creative deal. I was able to negotiate terms with a seller. Then we sit down and we look at it and we're like, yes, you did, but oh my God, you need some help, right? A lot of the struggle comes with, you can get the leads, you can talk to the sellers, you can structure a deal, right? But is it a good deal? And that is where people fall off. What constitutes a good creative financing deal? This is the formula. Is it a 25% cash on cash return or more after your entry fee? Is the entry fee 10% or less? Is the house, depending on the area, is it turnkey? Is it not? And then all the other things that fit into your buy box. One thing you need to be aware of is interest rates matter with creative financing, because typically what we've seen is anything 5% or more kills the long-term cash flow. And if you're going to be buying deals for yourself, you're going to want to have a long-term cash flow, one. And two, if you're planning on assigning or wholesaling the creative financing deal, which we don't recommend for beginners, you will have a problem getting rid of it if it doesn't cash flow.
Yep. So when we underwrite, because you're talking about underwriting the deal, we have a structured way of doing that, and that's our creative financing calculator. Yep. And typically when people ask us, like, hey, why is this deal good? That's one of the first things that you provide our buyers, or that we look at if we're considering to purchase the creative deal, right?
Yep. And I know that when you guys watch this video, but I want you to go to my personal Facebook page or Jay's, and I also want you to go to the Facebook groups and search my name, and I want you to see the deals that we put out there. I want you to see how the deals are structured and what that looks like.
And if you're interested in grabbing that calculator, again, check the links below. But overall, I think that these are the three main struggles that we see anyone who wants to be a creative financer or enter the creative financing world struggle with.
Absolutely. So, guys, with that being said, we want you to go check out our website. It's Romans Creative Academy.
.com.
It's going to be in the description below. And on top of that, guys, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the video if you enjoyed it. Anytime you ever need anything, let us know. But please go check out Romans Creative Academy. There's a ton of free resources on there. If you'd like to have a time to chat with us, you can do that. But with that being said, guys.
Or, let me stop you there. If you have to ask us any questions, if this sparked any questions in your mind, go to www.romanscreativeacademy.com/ask so that you can submit those questions to us and we will get them answered for you live.
And that is going to be in the description. This is something we are going to be doing moving forward indefinitely every week. So make sure any question flies, any question goes. Make sure to drop that in there.
All right, guys. See you next week.